Libraries rule the world, first of all. We all know that. And I grew up going to libraries. Grew up as a young mom taking my kids to libraries. And so I did see them as this mecca of safety and warmth and book love. In terms of my career as an author, librarians reach out to me through my website mainly, and they'll tell me that they like books, so they're pushing books along. And they'll also come to me a lot of times when books get challenged and ask, how can I fight this? What can I do? I'll get these horribly vitriolic emails from grown-ups that are very angry. What I try to do is remember that it's a reaction that stems out of fear, and that fear then turns into anger. And I always write back and say, I'm so sorry you had such a bad experience with this book. And then I try to talk about it a little bit. And I consider that to be my Southern method of killing with kindness. And also, I kind of have this urge to show them, you know what, you may think that I'm not really a person, that I'm just this evil author who puts these books of doom into your kids' hands. But actually, I am a person, and actually I'm trying to do something good here, and let's talk about it a little.
Bliss was one of my favorite reads of 2008. I sensed some Stephen King in the plotting and was wondering what kind of books and movie influences affect the sort of horrific side of you and your writing.
Well, first of all, thank you. That makes me so happy that you liked Bliss. And for sure, Carrie was an influence. And I reread Carrie just to look at how Stephen King did it. Stephen King is amazing. Did you grow up reading Stephen King?
I did.
Love the way that he can put together a plot, and love the way that he can plant seeds of horror and terror and just that gradual building of suspense. I've had a couple of different reactions. One is, this is weird, this isn't what I expected, and I hated the ending, because the ending is not exactly a happy fairy tale ending. Another is, oh my gosh, this is my favorite book, I've never read anything of yours before, and now this is my favorite book of the world. And the other reaction is, this is really different, this isn't what I was expecting, but I really liked it. And is there going to be a sequel? So.
Is there?
Yeah, well, there already is. It's Rhymes with Witches.
Of course.
I wrote it backwards by accident.
So you worked for a while as a middle school teacher, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how has that affected your writing?
Well, first book I wrote that I remember using a scene from the middle school, my experience was Fashion Disaster That Changed My Life, because I remember this kid when I was in middle school named Jeremy, and he was the first kid I ever met who was on Ritalin. And I remember I was a new teacher. I had no teacher training, and I would go in there and I thought I could be their pal and I could just win them over, and they were having nothing to do with that. And Jeremy jumped up on his desk and said, boring! And I was like, holy pickles, what do I do with this kid? And then my roommate at the time, who was also a teacher, said, Lauren, they're middle schoolers, you've got to use sarcasm, you've got to be mean. And I went and I tried to be sarcastic, and I said something sarcastic to this little girl, and her eyes just got huge and filled up with tears. And I thought, Lauren, you are a crappy human being to try to match wits against a 7th grader who doesn't. It's horrible. So I realized sarcasm wasn't going to work, and friendly wasn't going to work, and I just muddled through that year. But I got a lot of good stories and realized that I really liked that age group a lot.